Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this past days I talked about the 714 method, which is a very nice strategy, right? So today I just came online to actually trade the 714 method. Look at what price just did, right? Now by looking at this trend, you realize that it's obviously in a downtrend. Why is it in a downtrend? So you can see what happened right here. Price started this move, shot all the way up to this zone, ended up reversing all the way back down, closing around somewhere here inside the 714 meter. So which is simple. Now, obviously, you can see the price did not tag the fair value gap. Price did not tag it. So the fair value gap is a good zone to actually buy from, right? But you can see the price was having a very serious amount of liquidity, a very, very serious amount of liquidity pushing all the way down, right? So since there's this plenty liquidity down here that price is pushing to, it's advisable to see what price is going to happen or what's price going to do. By the end of the 714 method, we drop all the way down and close around somewhere here. So indicating that we should be looking forward for a buy, right? And looking forward for a buy, we should be targeting this as the first TP, which is this high, and possibly the last high right here as the what? As the second TP, right? Which is very simple. Now the problem is here. Price close around this one. It did not tag the what? The fair value gap. So meaning the fair value gap is a very, very good zone for you to do what? Execute your trade, right? But at the same time, you can see the price was dropping very, very fast. And with this amount of drop, this fast move, is always advisable for you to do what? Wait and see what happens. That is why we have what we call confirmation entries, right? So this fair value gap is still holding. Why? Because there's no candle that has just pushed through it. So price can still drop, come back and respect the fair value gap. I will still get the trade. So you can see that today the 714 method has exhausted every single point that it wanted or that you should be using to execute a trade. Remember, this is too fast. Sometimes you have to look at the trend and just tell yourself, I don't want to be in this trade. It's not hard. Look at it, just tell yourself, I don't want to be in this trade. And don't get inside that trade because it's going to stress you over nothing, right? So we can see that this was very fast. So putting a buy here, limit order, is going to be a very, very bad idea. So fair value gap, price is not target before coming inside. You can see that we swept through it. Very nice. No confirmation or not even a rejection for us to see that buyers are coming into the market so that we can start buying. Simple. Another fair value gap, price went through it. We have an OB right here. What did price do? Went through it straight. Now, the only thing that we are left with is what? Support and resistance, which is below this one right here. And I'm pretty sure price will do what? Push through it as well. Now, if there's a tiny bit of rejections here or an amount of move here that shows that buyers are coming into the market, what I'm still going to do is execute a buy. What I'm still going to do is execute a buy, and I'll still target this as first TP. And I'll still target something like this. Why? Because these are the three things that we are using to execute trades based on the 714 method, right? These are the three things, which is fair value gap, support and resistance, and an order block. Now, in most cases, we don't really use support and resistance like that. We usually just use what? Fair value gap and what? Order blocks, right? But today, this is the case. We might be using what? Support and resistance, which will be quite nice because it has been a while that I've used support and resistance. Or we might not even get a trade. You get that? We might not even get a trade, which is also normal. It's not really a big deal. So we can see what is happening here. Price has swept the high of this trend. and at the same time swept its low, right? So indicating that price has grabbed liquidity from both sides. So with this can push all the way up because this was already a good demand zone, right? Which is also known as what support and resistance. So I can go ahead and execute my trades. I'll be executing only two trades. And what I'll be doing is still targeting this high as the first TP, which should be here. So the second TP should be this high right here. And that is it for the 714 method. Now, you see that sometimes patience actually pays, right? Now, you also realize that there is a problem because my trade is not here. My trade is here because I wanted to see the reaction before I execute, right? So since my trade is there, my stop loss should be somewhere here. Should just be a little bit below this, and that should be my stop loss, right? So I will probably be in a trade that looks more or less like this. And I'll be targeting this as first TP, and obviously this right here as what second TP, right? So let's see what happens. All right, so as you can see, you've seen the 714 method layout. Very nice, right? Now, this is what I've been telling you countless number of times. Always execute two trades, right? Now, this is a very nice trade, shooting all the way up, right? But at any moment, I feel like this trade is getting relaxed or this trend is getting relaxed. I just get out of one trade and I allow the second trade to hit the TP, right? It's simple. You are on this market to make money. You're not on this market to watch trend move, right? So price has already moved about more than half of the what of the actual trend that I wanted to catch, which is from this zone, right here all the way up to this highs right here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of the first trade that I executed at what 11K currently. So obviously the 714 method has played out. I'll be getting out of this trade as at 11K, which is very nice. I could still hold it till price get to this zone, but I'll be doing that for only the second trade. Why? Because the stop loss was very wide, right? And obviously, this should be at break even. So even if price is able to come all the way back down and take me out, I've already made about 11K on the 714 method. And this is what you have to understand. I told you, you use three things to execute your trade: fair value gap, support and resistance, and an order block. In this case, all those things were present. We have fair value gap, we have order block, we have support and resistance, and this trend was way too fast. So because it's very fast, what do? You take your time to do what before you execute your trade. So taking my time is trying to see if I can see a rejection here. I did not. Trying to see if I can see a rejection on the second FEG. I did not. OB price went through it. Support and resistance. Price did what? Waited, swept the last low, and give the what? The rejection that I needed. At this point, I cannot execute my trade, and I'll target this as first TP, this as second TP. This is a fairly big trade, and the SL was also very, very big, right? So it was kind of something that looked like this. So this is it. About 1:5. If I was going to use the initial trade, that would have been about what 1:9, right? Simple. So the 714 method does work, just that you don't know how to trade it. Learn how to trade it. That is all. Within this zone to this high, you can use this to make over 10K. You can use it to make over 20K. And this is what I've been telling most of my students. You see, The problem is not really about you catching a very, very long trade. No, the problem is you utilizing the strategy that you are using, understanding it, and executing a very big lot size. Within some couple of minutes, you are out. If I get out of this, that is 20K. I've already made over 63, no, 70, 74, because I closed another trade on USD about 74K in profit just this morning, because I made analysis last week. I told you guys I wanted this pairs to buy. None of you listened. It bought this morning, right? It jumped all the way up. My trades went into massive profit. Each was about 20K in profit. Gold was about 30K in profit. Two trades, right? Always execute two trades. That is how your psychology becomes very, very simple for you. That's where you understand your trading psychology. Execute two trades. Now that I'm out, this is at break even. I'm good to go. I can allow this trend to come back and take me out, or obviously just put it at 5K so that I'll be making about 16K on this trade, right? Simple as that, and I'm good to go. So please try your best and learn. The problem is you are not learning. You just want everything to be simple for you. It's never going to be easy for you, right? It's not. So try your best and learn. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.